Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has highlighted the role of climate change in intensifying wildfires, including the recent devastating blazes in California. In an interview, Trudeau stated, "Climate change means they're going to get steadily worse, and we have to keep stepping up on fighting climate change too."
Before I get into the funeral and before I get into what's going on with you back in your home country, I do want to ask, our country and the world really is watching these horrible fires in Los Angeles. Canada has a lot of experience with similar conflagrations. I know that you have been offering resources to the people of California and Los Angeles. What advice could you offer them?
Well, I think, unfortunately, over the past years, we've seen it get far worse, and we've seen wildfires increasingly encroaching on urban areas. And that's an interface fire where we're having to train up more local municipal firefighters to deal with wildfires in a way that we never had before. I've been back and forth texting with Governor Newsom. We've offered a tremendous amount of equipment that they're already accepting. There's expertise. There's things that we're having to do to deal with together as we, of course, respond to these fires, but also know that climate change means they're going to get steadily worse, and we have to keep stepping up on fighting climate change too.
A lot of people out there might say, what does climate change have to do with this? Explain.
Well, when the summers get drier, when weather gets hotter, when weather patterns shift, communities that were built in a place that never saw fires are suddenly seeing fires much more frequently. There's a shift in everything that means even what we see now is going to just get worse and worse and worse over the coming decades if we're not serious about reducing our emissions and looking for ways to protect our future generations.
Trudeau discussed Canada's collaboration with California, noting that Canada has provided equipment, expertise, and training resources to help manage the crisis. He also emphasized the rising prevalence of wildfires near urban areas, attributing the trend to shifting weather patterns, drier summers, and hotter conditions exacerbated by climate change. Communities that never saw fires are suddenly seeing fires much more frequently, he explained. Critics, however, have questioned Trudeau's focus on climate change during an active disaster. Some argue that his comments risk overshadowing other critical factors, such as forest management practices, urban planning, or even arson, which have also been linked to wildfire outbreaks. Others accuse him of using the crisis to promote climate policy rather than prioritizing immediate, practical solutions. Domestically, Trudeau has faced scrutiny over his government's wildfire preparedness measures. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has accused the government of inadequate planning and relying on what he described as alarmist rhetoric about climate change to deflect responsibility. As California battles its worst fire season in years, Trudeau's remarks reflect the broader debate on the balance between addressing climate change and implementing immediate disaster management solutions.